So Nam Aloha, everyone. Thank you for your patience. And if you could put your name in your where you're logging in from, that would be great if you feel called. And before we get into the meditation, for the people that are watching, it will be time stamped below, so you can scoot to the Kundalini Yoga meditation for intuition. Or stick around and learn why our intuition is so important during this time that we're in. Okay, so I just want to go over the chart quickly here. And it's this one. Okay, so that's the chart as of now. So we can see that the sun is in the 40th gate, and that's coming off the heart center. Do you see that red center here? This is the human design system. Okay, so this is our transits. So it's in Virgo, but then it's in the 40th hexagram that's part of the zodiac of Virgo, right? And it's there. Let me see, until probably a couple more days. It's September already. So it's there until September 4th. Okay, so it's there for a little bit longer. And then so this is the shadow of exhaustion. It's the gift of resolve in the city of divine will. Okay, so this is all about work, right? It's all about the love of work or the not love of work. So we can't play games anymore, the time that we're in right now, and we'll get exhaustion, right? Fatigue when we're using our willpower, because this is the center of willpower, this red center here. It's our willpower. Using our energy in incorrect ways that aren't appropriate for us, we're going to feel this exhaustion, right? So what's it saying? It's saying that we've got to rely more on divine will. So I was talking to a friend about this the other day. I mean, just in terms of my health, this rules the stomach too, the 40th. But I find now, and I've got the 40th gate in my Uranus position, but I was telling her that the juxtaposition is it's so obvious now. It's like my body likes this, no, my body doesn't like this, and it's like there's no vagueness anymore. So you're going to find that with yourself in terms of your health and especially your work. Or relationships, or where you don't belong, where the universe doesn't want you anymore. The rift is going to become so wide, it's going to become so obvious to you that, I don't belong here, right? And if you fight it, then you're going to get exhausted. So people have a defined willpower center, right? This heart center. They have a lot of willpower. So that means it's colored in. So if you look at your chart and if it's colored in, you've got a lot of willpower, right? But it's not, if you're not relying on divine will now, you're going to exhaust yourself. And it's exhausting to not be your authentic self, because that's what we're being called to do now, right? As we move into the Aquarian age, we have to be our authentic self or nothing will work. So if you're up there with your little mask on and playing those old roles that you've been playing in relationships that are not good for you, no longer aligned for you, living in places that are not aligned for you, in jobs that are not aligned for you anymore, you're going to exhaust yourself because you're fighting against, this evolutionary energy that I talked about in my last video, right? The evolutionary energy is taking you somewhere now. So trying to fight it, this is what's going to happen to you. Ping, right? So just tune into that this week, right? As we're in this transit of the 40th, it's like, am I feeling exhausted? And really tune in. And this is why this meditation for intuition, I felt really called to do this one today. Will lead you in the right direction, right? So this is going through a huge mutation, this 4037, right? So that makes a channel, and you see that the Earth, in human design we use the Earth too as a position, so that's 37 and 40. These are also programming partners, so it's rare that they're also make channels together, right? So the 4037. So this is how we work in a tribe. This is tribal consciousness that's leaving, right? And I'll go into that in a second. So it's working. It's like, okay, I'm going to work for you, for the tribe, and then the tribe gives back the tenderness, the affection, right? I appreciate what you're doing. It's like the provider. If you look at it, it's like the archetype of the provider, breadwinner, and then the nurturer at home, right? But this is going through a big change. And I'll just go into this cross of planning, right? So this is the global cycle that we're leaving that started in 1615 and ends in 2027. This is tribal consciousness is going. It's based on bargain, exchange, fostering this dependency on these systems, these institutions that we have, these support systems, little g, our health system, our medical system, our military, our police, right? All these institutions, educational system, religion, all those support systems that we've had for this cross of planning for humanity, they're all going down, right? They're all going down. And the way that we navigate through life using our logical mind and strategy and planning, that's not going to work anymore because this is all based in time. So we're moving away from time into our eternal self, right? The timeless, the coming more and more into the present moment, right? That a lot of teachers talk about. Eckhart Tolle started, right? The power of now. This is the power of the present moment, and leaving the ego and the mind behind, and they belong in time. Ego and mind belong in time. So you can see, right? This channel's going through a huge mutation. This 3740, and we're already starting to see the breakdown of this, because before it would be you would work and slog, and my parents and grandparents, it was like, you're lucky to have a job. That was their attitude. I'm lucky just to have a job, be able to put clothes on my back, feed my kids, and it's called work for a reason. Nobody's supposed to enjoy their work, right? This is the old tribal consciousness. It's just what you did for the betterment of the good, right? Well, that's ending, right? So this exhaustion will show you. So do you see what we're doing? It's like when these mutations start to happen, then we're faced with these belief systems that aren't even ours. They're these ancestral codes that we've inherited. So we're coming butt up against them, right? But your energy level is going to show you if you're in right alignment or not with your authenticity. And if you're in the right alignment with this evolutionary energy that's pushing us into a new cycle. And the new cycle is the cross of the sleeping phoenix, right? So that starts in 2027 and that goes to 2040, 2438. So this is the background frequency on the planet that's driving humanity. It's driving humanity on a very, very deep level. So this means our themes are going to change, right? So the cross of planning was all about get the right focus on getting the right skills so that you can make the bargain with the tribe. It's like, here, I have these skills to really help the tribe out. Here's my contribution. And then I get back, the perks of being in a tribe, being taken care of, basically, right? Until my old age. Well, and after my old age until death. This is all changing, right? And now we're moving into this new area, this new realm of this a spiritual rebirth. There was no real space for spirituality here. This is all about religion, right? And religion is about believing in someone else's experience of the divine. It's worshiping, right? Worshiping another, worshiping the middleman. Oh, I've got to go to the priest, right? Or the nun or whatever, that middleman in between me and my relationship with the divine. This is all ending. We're having our own direct experience now with the divine. We don't need a middleman because the divinity's always been inside of us. That's what we're going to start to realize now through this solar plexus mutation that's happening. So this is the spiritual rebirth, and it's an alchemy. So you can see it's the sleeping phoenix, right? The phoenix is such a beautiful symbol, a symbol, if you want to look at it like that, as alchemy. So there's an alchemy happening inside each one of us, and this is the solar plexus mutation, right? The second brain that's in the stomach area, the enteric nervous system, your gut, right? It has its own intelligence. Well, this is the phoenix that's starting to gestate, right? It's gestating. It's a new awareness system that's coming online. And it says if you follow Kundalini yoga and meditation, if you're a teacher or practitioner, have gone deep in it, this is the self-sensory system. This is the same thing. The solar plexus, this new awareness system, self-sensory system, or the solar plexus awareness system, is the same thing. So it's said that we'll reach, how we'll know when this new awareness system comes online is we'll reach the pinnacle of how far we can go with our technology, right? Our external technology. And then we're going to realize that the real technology is inside each one of us. That's the real technology, right? That we won't need this anymore, this external technology, like television, right? We'll realize that we're telepathic. Each person is telepathic, right? Just things like that. So it's really the age of self-empowerment, right? It's all about self-empowerment. So it's not about relying on other people and a savior to take care of you, right? Somebody else is going to do something about it. Somebody's going to save me. That's all ending, right? With this cross of planning, there's nobody coming to save you. You have to save yourself, right? It's the age of self-empowerment. So this is the realization that everything that we need is inside of us. That's what the intuition is teaching us, right? Right? If you followed your intuition, like if you meditate on, it's like, what happened when I followed my intuition that time? What happened, right? And I've been committed to following my intuition since 2012 because I had to. I was forced to, right? Because there was no support. I feel like I got an early kind of peek into this sleeping phoenix cross that's coming. But like I said before, this is not my time, right? I'm an emotional 2/4 projector, but I'm also 3 parts right? 3 parts right is the future. This is in my recorded readings, and I'm 1 part left, which is 1 part past, so I can communicate about rightness. Wasn't my time. This is my time right here, because it's all about rightness now that we're moving into. And every day, like I'm finding, like maybe you're like this too, every day it's like, oh, I'm feeling more and more comfortable in this energy. I feel like I'm finally being supported by the energy on the planet, right? I didn't feel supported here. It was like, talk about exhaustion, trying to live in this, right? This cross of planning, because it's all about strategy and, right? That's not me. That's leftness, right? That's not me at all. I'm about rightness, being in the moment, right? In the present moment. So the people that have a lot of right are projectors. Projectors are getting huge upgrades right now. I can feel it. And also I'm a 1/8. I've got the 1/8 channel here, right? This one right here. This is the creative role model, and it's the individual, right? So it's all about being your authentic self, right? And individuating. There was no room for authenticity here. There's no room for the individual here. It was all about the tribe, right? What can you do for the tribe? Keep the tribe going, keep the species alive, keep these systems working, be a cog in the wheel, right? And then you're rewarded for conforming. There's no rewards here for conforming, because this is where you're going to end up, off the cliff by the evolutionary energy. The evolution right now in the sleeping phoenix is not interested in people who are not changing and not becoming their unique, authentic self, stepping away from the status quo, right? Going into their passion, following their intuition in their hearts. The evolutionary energy is like, no, you're conforming, you're going off the cliff, right? And in whatever way that looks like. We're already seeing it on the planet, right? This herd, it's evolve or go with the herd, right? And the herd is clinging to this cross of planning. Okay, so it's all about being receptive now. It's not being about planning, right? Like, kiss this I got a 5-year plan, right? Who could have said that, like, back in 2019? Like, look, think back at 2019. I got a plan. What's going to happen? I had a plan too. In 2020, what I was going to do, and the energies had a different plan for me, the plan that's aligned with my soul. So I got completely blocked from my plan, right? The ego's plan. So this is what's going to happen, right? There's no planning. It's all about being in the present moment. In the present moment is your intuition. Your intuition doesn't live in time. Your intuition is connected to your higher self, right? So these are the new, right? The new is this 3420 that I talked about in the last video. Right here, that's the channel of charisma, 3420, that goes from the sacral all up to the throat. This is about following your passions, right? Doing your thing where your intuition is telling you to go, in your heart, and then, right? It's a very individual channel, right? It's a very individual channel. So it's doing your own thing, and you're empowering by the frequency that you're sending out, because you're in your passion, right? In your passion, and you're sending that out to the field of human consciousness, empowering others to do the same. Not running and being someone's savior. It's like, here's the fish. I got the fish for you, the tribe, right? This tribal bargain thing. I have it. I'm delivering the fish. Here you go. Oh, I get the accolades and the credit and the praise. Get my feet rubbed, right? Or whatever. It's like, that's not going to work anymore. Now it's like, you go out and get your own fish, right? And then you empower other people. Oh, I can go and get my own fish too. I don't need somebody bringing the fish to me. I can manifest my own fish, right? So there's that. And then the way that we relate to one another, right? It's the 55 that I talked about before. That's connected to the spirit awareness. And then the 59 is how we bond. And I've done videos on this. I don't want to get too much into this today because of the meditation. Just a reminder that I've changed my program, the 8-week program. So this is all about preparing people for the cross of the sleeping phoenix. It's called Awaken the Sleeping Phoenix, and it's an 8-week program. So it's about preparing you for this 2027 global cycle shift and the solar plexus mutation that's coming too. So with this, I mean, I put some things on my website that have come down to me so far, but honestly, when I surrender to, like, okay, divine, I'm going to do this program, it kind of comes as the people come and gather, right? As the people come in, I'm a projector, so the people come and gather, and they're inviting me by purchasing the program, and then more and more things start to land. So it's like I don't get the whole picture at first. I get the skeleton. So that's what's up now. But this is my intention, is this. So there'll be a lot of deep emotional work, of course, right, to get you prepared for this, going into the emotional body. Remember that we can only evolve through the emotions, to the spirit awareness. This is new awareness that's coming online, and it's all about the ego, leaving the ego behind. Okay, so there's going to be lots of support, like weekly Zoom calls, group meditations. You'll have homework to do. You'll have a daily meditation to do. There'll be like breakout sessions, so you'll be able to get to know each other. It's going to be more of an experience rather than just like, oh, I'm just taking all this interesting information. It's like, no, it's an experience to awaken the sleeping phoenix in you, so that you're ahead of the wave. Because the wave is coming. You don't want to be under the wave, like, right? You want to be surfing that wave, right? You want to already be in this energy. And it's going to make life a lot more enjoyable. And then you can really enjoy the show, right? When you embrace this new. And of course, I'll be going there's much more to share about this Sleeping Phoenix cross. It's a really exciting time, you know? So keep that in mind. And I've included, I have a 6-hour webinar already done on the 2027 solar plexus mutation. So that will get you caught up on all the more information. So I'm including that, and it's $100 off, and it's $3.99, right, for 8 weeks. I think it's a good deal, and you can always have access to it. I'll probably upgrade it as we go along too. So you're going to be learning a lot about human design, and I'll get everybody's human design charts too. Yeah, so I just wanted to let people know that. And let's go into, so you can see why intuition is so important now, right? If we're moving this, there's no real room for intuition here with the cross of planning, right? Intuition is in the now, right? It's in the now. Just getting called to do. Here's I did a little tarot reading before. I just want to go into this before we get into the meditation. I did a tarot reading before the live stream, just tuning into everybody that's going to be watching this. And this is a spread, just a spread I made up. But it's, I just wanted to go over some things. So this is where we are now, like everybody watching. And these are archetypes. You know, the tarot is very, very ancient, and it's archetypes. And in speaking of intuition, it's like, what I do is I focus my energy, and then the cards are just a reflection of the energy, right? So the Page of Swords, right here. Where's the page? I want to look at it. The Page of Swords here. So this is us, right? Trying to gather up all the information. We need more information before we make any decisions. More information. And remember, we're in an information age, right? And the mind cannot handle. There's never enough information. And I love that meme, if you've ever seen it. Trying to get information off the internet, it's like trying to drink out of a fire hydrant. You know, when it starts going, because it's just so overwhelming, all the information. And this is what the mind wants. Well, I need more information. I need my pros, and this is the strategy. I need my pro list, and I need my cons list. And it goes on and on and on and on. It doesn't stop. And this is what creates the anxiety, right? Because there's all these emotions below this, right? There's all these emotions below this. That's the emotional body, right? So this is, looking for more and more information and studying. I need to know more. I need to know more. I don't want to make a mistake, right? This avoidance. This keeps you in fight, flight, or freeze. This is freeze. More. And you must notice that now. It's like my mind is just going crazy because your mind's not equipped. We're going into this new cycle of the cross of the Sleeping Phoenix. There's no room to use the mind because the mind is in time, right? The mind is in time. It's either in the past, right? Thinking about the past, reflecting on the past, or it's projecting the past into the future. Well, if I can't do that again, if I do that, then it happened to me 10 years ago. It's going to happen again. Right? It's like, no, the mind is not where you want to go right now. It's your intuition, right? So this is where we are right now. And then the Two of Earth here. This is the Two of Pentacles in the traditional deck. And this is what not to focus on. And this is the back and forth, right? The Two of Pentacles is, should I do this? No. Well, what if I do this? And then the mind is dragging out. Mind's going into the subconscious mind with all the memories. Well, I can't do that because that happened 5 years ago. I can't do that because my friend did that and that didn't really work for her. And it just like keeps you back and forth. This is the duality of the mind. Right? Back and forth. Not a good place. This creates more stress. This is the stress card, the back and forth. And it's pentacles, so it has to do with your decisions here on the earth plane, right? Yeah. So there's that. And then the spiritual advice, really interesting. It's all pentacles, right? All the earth. So you got the 6 of earth, the 7 of earth, and the king of earth there. And so that's a progression because it's 6 to 7 to king, right? King's as far as you can go for the pentacles. So this is about, you know, the material. What material, and we've got Uranus, right, in Taurus, right? A lot of action going on in Taurus, the North Node in Taurus too. This is about the give and take, the 6 of Pentacles. It's about prosperity because it's the receiving and giving, receiving and giving, receiving and giving. And then it's about your money, but how you invest, not just your money, but your energy too. Like, how am I going to invest my energy, my time, because that time is about the earth plane. How am I going to invest my material? Right? So time, energy, material, resources. What's the best way to invest these resources? These are your inner resources. That's Taurus, your inner resources. How am I going to invest them? Your energy is the real currency. It's not money outside, paper and coin. It's your energy. That's the real currency. So where am I going to invest? This is the 7 of Pentacles, right? I'm going to be growing trees for the future. Right? It's like, okay, what seeds am I going to plant? And it's about patience, right? It's about patience. And what comes out of this is the king of earth, right? The king of pentacles. It's funny, I always think he's got a pie, if you can see that right there. But it's a pentacle. He looks like he's got a pie by the tree, the king of earth. And this is prosperity, right? It's successful. It's generous, right? So this is the spiritual advice here. What am I going to invest in? What am I going to invest my resources in? What's the best way to use my energy and my time and my resources right now? And it doesn't involve strategy. It does not involve strategy at all because the mind has no idea what's coming in the future. We have no idea, right? I have a sense because of my study of human design and stuff, but I don't know how it's all going to form and what it's going to look like, right? That's the unknown, right? So this is what this is saying, and what's underlying this is the Knight of Water. The Knight of Water, this is the Knight of Cups, right? So this is the romantic, it's the emotional, dramatic. So I was just contemplating romance. We always think of romance as like, you know, kissing on the beach and holding hands and candlelight dinners and things like that, right? But romance goes deeper than that. It's not just about our relationships, although that's a big part of it, right? Romance. It's what we emotionally connect to. What we emotionally connect to, right? So you can have a romantic connection with things that you love. That's what romance is, like with your pet or your child, right? Something that you really love. This is about the heart and connecting emotionally. So this is the message of like, okay, what am I going to invest in? What is drawing you? What's drawing your heart? Like emotionally, what emotionally are you connected with? And you're going to feel it in your heart, and it has nothing to do with your mind. The mind is like, well, this stock looks like it would go up, and this, and it's like, no, there's got to be an emotional connection now. That's what's real. That's what's guiding you. Are your emotions not like the stuck emotions from childhood that I talk about, the fear, anger, grief? This is like the love. It's like you can feel it. It's like a pull from your heart. It's pulling you somewhere. And this is what this message is saying, is to connect what you invest now, your time, energy, right? Your presence, your money, your material is what you are emotionally connected to. What's emotionally connecting you right now, right? Because this is where we're healing, right? Through this emotional body. So that's what's happening, and how that connects with your intuition. It's like, well, how does that connect with my intuition, Michael? Well, this is the, let me get me out of the way, or maybe not. Okay. So our intuition is nothing is useless to us if it's just plain old intuition. We're not gonna get the true intuitive voice because we have to be connected to the heart chakra. The heart chakra is the translator of your intuition. And I must say, like every time that I've gotten a real intuitive hit, you know, when you get like that, you really get it, like the lights go on and it's just like a sigh for me. It's like a sigh of relief, and it always opens my heart. It opens my heart a little bit, right? Because it's connected to the heart chakra. So this is the alchemy that we're going through with this cross of the sleeping phoenix, you know, is the spiritual rebirth is this alchemy. It's an alchemy that's going on. And the alchemy is happening in the solar plexus, right? This churning that's happening, this mutation that's happening to humanity to open up our hearts, right? This is to open up our hearts. So this is connected to our intuition, right? We need to have the heart open. Yeah. So this is what this is saying for us to go through these times and thrive. So of course, you know, Worm Tongue, you know, he represents the ego in my world right here, is a big block to our intuition. And Worm Tongue ego is so sneaky that he can make you believe that he's your intuition, right? He's your intuitive voice, right? But I did a whole video on this. In my program, I'll go really, really deep on the difference between these two voices, right? The ego and your intuition is, right, can sneak you. And it's always got judgment or fear. It's always like, I'm doing this because I'm afraid of something happening, right? That's always that's big sign that it's the ego, right? So the ego's in your ear. You believe that this voice is yours, and it yammers and it goes on, and it's got commentary on everybody in your life. It's got judgment. It's got commentary on you, right? About why you shouldn't or should do something, right? It's all about keeping you away from your destiny. The ego's not here to help you, right? But you can use the ego. Right? You can use the ego because it's duality. It's duality. Anyway, I don't want to get into that right now. So, right, the loud noise of fear propaganda, right? It's all about drowning out your intuition. So, in terms of your intuition, to really listen to your intuition, firstly, you have to meditate, right? You have to meditate. You have to do sound. You have to remove yourself, right? And especially when you're first starting out, to really, really listen to, because it's about listening. That's what intuition is. It's about listening. Is like remove yourself. Things that can really draw you away from your intuition are the people you hang out with, right? We become the 5 people that we hang out with the most. So if they're really low vibration and they're completely identified with their ego in the material world, and that's their thinking process, it's all about survival and me, you know, going along to get along, that's going to really create this frequency of noise around you where you can't hear you're going to hear more ego. If they're in their egos, right, everybody around you is in their ego, then there's this frequency of loud noise all around you. So you have to watch that. Like, who are you hanging out with? Who are you surrounding yourself with? Well, maybe it's time to take a little break from them and feel what you feel like when you're not around those people, right, as much, you know? And do the best you can to remove yourself so that you can feel you. You want to feel you, right? You want to be around people of high vibration. And it's true, if you go to somebody's house that meditates a lot and they're spiritual, as soon as you walk into that home, you can feel it. You can feel the frequency of what's going on in that home, as opposed to like going to a home where there's a lot of fighting and conflict and, you know, and materialism and fear and stuff. You can feel that vibration too, you know? So if you've got friends and allies that are on the same path as you, those are the ones you want to hang out with, because that frequency is going to support you in tuning into your intuition, you know? Even the place around where you live, the neighborhood, there's some dark energies around certain neighborhoods and things like that. You're going to know now, just with your feeling. You're feeling, right? It's about feeling your way through life, not thinking your way through life right now. And remember that the divine is not a concept. God is not a concept. It's a feeling. It's a feeling. That's how we attune to the divine and God, is through our feeling nature, right? That's coming back. The other thing with intuition too is what you're consuming, right? So the foods that you're eating, is it all GMO? They're hiding bug stuff now in food and ingredients. You want to be watching that like a hawk. Like what's in that? Well, it's best just to stay away from processed food, period, right? But the foods can affect your intuition too, like fluoride in the water, things like that. It's just about researching and taking care. But if you tune into your intuition will let you know. Like, no, this food is really bad, right? It's not good for you. It's lowering your consciousness. And don't assume that little G is out there supporting our growth and evolution. They're not, right? The food industry is not supporting our evolution. It's all about pulling us down into subhuman, right? To stop this from coming, right? This evolution. So watch that, and also the media that you're taking in, right? What the news media and things like that. You've got to digest that. You have to digest those images. You have to digest. This is what can keep people up at night. I remember back in the day, falling for the hype of like, oh, this is the latest, greatest film out there. Everybody's talking about it. And I would see it, and it was just like so negative. It was like the underbelly of humanity and a dark, dark fantasy from dark, dark energy. I would have nightmares from it because you have to digest it so it can keep you up at night. And that's the last time. It's like, I'm not, this was like 25 years ago now, that I'm listening to somebody about the hype, about what a great cinematic, celebration this is, or whatever. It's like, no, I'm not falling for that again, right? So that we have to digest those images. So you want to be bringing these higher vibrations in, and then this is going to really help you getting more and more in tune with your intuition, Okay. So, what else did I want to say here? Oh, the 40... Sorry about that. The 40 up here that we're still in, every shadow has a fear, and this is about being alone. It's the fear of being alone, and the 40 needs to be alone, right? You need alone to feel yourself, to connect with yourself again, the 40. It's like the heart, The heart beats, but then it takes a rest and beats again, right? The heart, beat, rest, beat, rest. So we're the same. We need to rest. We work, and then we rest. We need to rest, and it's to recharge, right? So this is spending time alone. So this week is saying that this would be a good time for you to spend some time alone, to really connect with yourself and connect with your intuition, not surround yourself with the noise, And we still have Mars and Gemini, and that's creating tons and tons of noise. People in their thinking mind, right? Going on and on and on. So I love this meme, right? One of the most important things you can do on this earth is to let people know that they're not alone, And sometimes that's just like recognition, like looking someone in the eye and, how are you today? I know cashiers are I always make a point of it, right? A cashier at a grocery store is always kind of shocked when I say, how are you? And they'll give me some flip answer, and I'll go, no, I really want to know, how are you doing? How are you doing with this whole thing, right? Especially during the lockdowns. They're already surprised by it, but that's all it takes. It's that connection, right? It's about emotionally connecting now with people, and in all of your life is emotional connection. And if there's no emotional connection for you, that means it's dead. It's dying. It's not. We have to go where things are alive, and that in our emotions are showing us that. Like, oh, there's an emotional connection here. I'm going to pursue it, you know? And I'm going to listen to my intuition, not my mind. And one of the things that we, before I get into the meditation here, is why people don't follow their intuition. Do you ever wonder that? Like, why people aren't following their intuition? Well, the biggest fear of following their intuition is getting hurt, right? It's getting hurt. And that's the past. And it's like listening to the mind. It's like, well, I'm not going to follow my intuition because this may happen, right? This is what the ego's telling you. Like this, you had your heart broken in the past, right? If I follow my intuition, I'm going to get my heart broken again, right? I don't want to go through that pain again. I want to avoid that pain, so I'm not going to listen to my intuition. I'm going to listen to my mind and ego that promises safety, that promises security. And the ego, nobody can promise you security and certainty right now. We're entering into the unknown, right? So this is a false promise, you know? And avoiding your destiny is not going to keep you safe right now. Because this is what happens when you avoid your destiny and not listen to your intuition. Right? You get cold. Right? The evolutionary energy doesn't care about people not listening to their intuition or refusing to change. Right? This is the wave that's coming. The wave of evolution that's coming. So back to this, like I can help you avoid the pain that you felt in the past. And it's not about the last relationship or the relationship 10 years ago. It all goes back to this. This is the root. This is my programs are going to address this big time, the Sleeping Phoenix program. This is the 0 to 7 years old. This is where the hurt is, right? Because this is where we close down our hearts. From 0 to 7, this is where we got our hearts broken, you know? So your intuition is probably leading you somewhere where you're emotionally connected, where there's healing for you, right? And the healing is to open up your heart again because there's love there. That's the emotional connection. There's love there for you. And your soul is showing you, go here. There's healing. There's wholeness. Healing comes from the same root word as wholeness. There's wholeness for you to heal this broken heart and to avoid it. You know, it's not the answer right now. Not the answer right now. It's to embrace, right? Embrace this emotional body now and go back and to heal this. And the courage is to go alone, because it's the 40, right? To be alone by yourself. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to face these fears now. I'm ready to face this fear. I'm ready to face these emotions, these buried emotions. And all you have to do is sit still and breathe, right? And just let it come and love yourself during the process, right? But this is what he has on you, right? It's like the negative forces out in the world. They blackmail all these leaders so that they're under control. Well, this is the blackmail, right? The blackmail is I got something on you, the ego, and it's that hurt little child that you took on the blame, right? The little child doesn't know. Little child doesn't know from 0 to 7. The little child is like, there's something wrong with me, why I wasn't given unconditional love. Everybody else was in the world, but not me, right? This is what the ego has on you, and this is what's controlling you from moving forward. So all it is courage. I'm just going to face it. I'm ready to face it. I'm done with running. It's exhausting me, right? That's the 40. I'm exhausted by running away from this shadow and this pain, you know, and to finally face it. And what comes out of this is this greater awareness. You're more in tune with your intuition. Your intuitive voice gets stronger and stronger because ego gets lower and lower and lower as you rise in awareness and in vibration, right? So don't listen to this. This is the only thing that's holding you back from your intuition. Acting on your intuition is this fear of getting hurt. Right? I don't want to get hurt. What if this happens? What if that? You don't know what's going to happen. That's what you have to say. The mind has no idea what's going to happen. Yeah. But I can speak from experience. Every time I followed my intuition, I have no regrets, right, of not following my intuition. And I was just thinking even today, because I've had my heart broken many, many times in relationships because it was bringing up this childhood wound in myself. And I was asking myself that once time, because one particular relationship brought me to my knees. It just shattered my heart open. It was just insane how much it shattered my heart open. And I had that question that I asked myself was, would I do it again? What I know now, would I go through that process again, or would I have avoided that relationship, entirely? And I had to answer truthfully, and the truthful answer is I wouldn't be the person I am today without going through that experience, because this is what it was opening up, right? Opening up this. It had nothing to do with that person. It was leading me back to this, right? To do this work. This is the shattering of the heart we all have to go through. Right? So there's a risk. There's always a risk in love, in relationships, in our emotional connections. There's always a risk. But all it is leading you back to yourself. It's about you. You having a direct relationship with your own divinity. Right? So don't let the ego stop you from following through on your intuition. It's going to get more and more uncomfortable until the universe intervenes and blasts you out where you're not supposed to be, right? You can't. I speak from experience. You can't hide. You can't hide from your destiny. It will hunt you down and drag you out of your house and bring you where you're supposed to go. I remember one person saying that many times her house burned down. She said it was so bizarre. It was like 3 different places I lived. And I leave and the house burned down. I said, what were you doing? And she was completely not on her destiny path, right? But luckily no other harm, right, to other people happened. But yeah. Okay, so before we get into the meditation, just want to see some comments here. And see how everybody's doing. So, no, I'm Lisa from Texas, and Jeanette, New Jersey. Lala from Los Angeles, and Karen from New York. Mick. Oh, right on, from Australia. Yay. Mikola. Okay. You're 3 parts right, Mick. And you can relate too. Things are going to get really better for us. Jeanette's got the community channel. That's the 3740s, the channel of community. So you may have a birthday now if you've got the 40 in the sun position. Saraswati, right? Lemuria, 4-6 projector. Right angle cross of consciousness, trying really hard to understand this. Yeah. It's best not to understand. It's more to have the experience, and it's just little baby steps, because people can get so overwhelmed by human design when they're just taking it on the mental level. And that's what I like. My kind of doorway into the human design is really about the spiritual aspect of it. Satnam, Gretchen. Okay, so everybody's ready for the meditation here. And so this is for intuition. Okay, this is for intuition. And what do I want to say about this meditation? I've been practicing this for a long time. And if you've done, if you're a teacher and you've done the level 2 teacher trainings. I did the level 2 teacher trainings. The mind and meditation teacher training was the last, I think it was the last week. It's been so long since I did that. You had to choose your own meditation from the mind and meditation book. So I think there's over 70 or no, there's 60 something meditations to choose from. And so it would just have to come to you, whatever it was, right? So you didn't memorize what the meditations were at all. So I finished this meditation. This is a meditation that we practiced. And it was the runner. I remember that was the runner. It's running away from a past projection. It works with different aspects of the mind, right? So immediately it was like runner came into my mind, and I didn't trust it at the time, right? This is 2008, I think 2007 I did it, or maybe earlier. When they first came out, I was doing them, right? So I didn't trust it. So I had created this logical system, right? It's like the negative, positive, neutral minds, and I was going through each one and choosing. Like I had this big elaborate system that I was using. And then about half an hour, I mean, at least I spent a half an hour on this. I come to the last one, and it's the runner. And it was like God's joke on me, right? It took me a half hour of mental, because it takes energy to feed all those neurons of thinking and doing it logically and trying to use my left brain. And I'm not left-brained, I'm right-brained because of my variable, right? So a lot of wasted energy when this is the easy way, is to listen to your intuition. But remember, you need your heart open too, right? You need that heart open too. It's not just about third eye now. It's third eye and heart have to be connected. Okay. So for this meditation, I just want to get my timer and everything ready, because it's very particular. It opens up in terms of the time. There we go. It opens up all the chakras. So it stimulates, what it does is stimulates the pituitary gland, which is connected to our intuition, and uses the Jupiter energy. Each one of these fingers is connected to, you know what we have to do? We have to tune in first. Okay. We have to tune in first. There we go. So the tuning in is Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo. You don't have to know. It's okay if you don't know these words, right? Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo. And what it's doing is attuning you to this energy. This is a 5,000-year-old technology, Kundalini Yoga meditation. So it attunes you to that lineage, that 5,000-year-old lineage. And it also awakens your teacher. It brings your teacher. So each person has everything they need inside you is inside you, right? So you have your own inner teacher inside you that's guiding you, right? Guru is bringing you from the darkness into the light, taking you from the darkness of the ego into the light of the soul. Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo. Okay, so that's what you're calling upon, right? With Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo. Yes, Lisa, I'm gonna leave it on the live stream here, time stamped for now, and if I have time, I will edit it. We'll see. I got a lot going on, and this is right. It's the 40th, so it's all about using your energy wisely, right now. Okay, so let's tune in first. So you want to rub your hands together and feel your palms, the heat between your palms. And bring your hands in prayer pose. And why we do this, it neutralizes the brain. It brings the left and the right side of the brain together. This is why people pray like this. It consolidates your energy, right? So you become one-pointed. Okay? So I'll tune in for all of us if you can't tune in yourself. And it's about yearning, right? It's this longing just to be with my higher self, this longing to be with my my soul. Okay? So feel your sitting bones on the ground or the chair, wherever you are, your feet on the ground if you're sitting in a chair. And take some long, deep breaths through your nostrils. And relax your shoulders, relax your neck muscles, relax your facial muscles. Okay. And inhale deeply. Exhale. Inhale to the base of the spine. Exhale. And inhale to tune in. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale deeply. Suspend the breath and press your palms together. Bring your focus to your third eye, the point between your brows, and channel the energy up with your intention. And exhale and relax your hands down. Okay. So again, this meditation is to strengthen your intuition. It opens up all the chakras and it stimulates your pituitary gland. So we're working with the Jupiter energy. Each finger represents planetary energies. That's why our hands are split like this. Fingers, they're like little antennas to different planetary energies. So for instance, if you want, this is Mercury, your baby finger. If you're having trouble communicating, you just bring your thumb. Thumb represents ego, right? And the Mercury finger, and you put these two together, right? And then you're drawing on the Mercury energy, and this helps you to communicate, right? So we're working with the Jupiter, right? The Jupiter energy. So you're going to interlace your fingers, except your Jupiter fingers, your index fingers point up. You cross your thumbs over, and you bring that right underneath your nose, like so. And the eyes can be closed. My eyes generally closed with this meditation, and but they say they have drunk eyes, so your eyes are like barely open, and you can see the tips of your Jupiter fingers, right? So it's right underneath your nose, and the breath pattern is you're going to do 4 equal inhales through the O mouth. So 4 equal inhales through the O mouth. So it sounds like this. And then you're exhaling through the nostrils. So it's, and you'll find that you're using your diaphragm. So you're using like the 4 quick inhales through the open mouth, and you're relaxing the diaphragm, right, while you're doing this. And this is going to stimulate the pituitary gland in here, right between your eyes. Okay? And keep your shoulders down and relaxed. Okay? And just have the experience, and take a moment to think of a question, right? Something that's like been bothering you and putting you in that duality. But should I do this? Should I do that? I'm back and forth, and just have it in your awareness to ask yourself at the end. Okay? Okay. So let's begin. So begin. Inhale deeply and suspend the breath and bring your arms out to your sides with your palms facing up to the ceiling. And suspend the breath. Bring all your awareness to your heart chakra. With your intention, open up your heart. Exhale through the nostrils. Again, inhale deeply. Suspend the breath. Bring all your awareness to your heart chakra, the center of your chest. And with your intention, open up your heart. And exhale through the nostrils. And one last time, inhale deeply. Suspend the breath and make your fingers like claws, like steel claws, and bring all your awareness to your hands. Clench, clench, clench your hands and your fingers. And exhale and relax your hands down. And now ask your question to yourself and listen. Where you've been confused. And relax your temples. And now send a prayer out to be given the courage and the strength and the conviction and the commitment to follow through on your intuition. Wherever your intuition is guiding you to, wherever your heart is guiding you to, where you feel emotionally connected, where there's emotional connection for you, that's where you go. Right? And make that commitment to follow your intuition now. Not your head, not your ego. And to trust. To trust the divine loves you unconditionally and has what's best. Your intuition knows what's best for you. Not your head, not your ego. Right? And if any fears come up, just face the fears, and you face them by just feeling them. So just feel the fears that come up when you imagine going forward, right? And acting upon your intuition. That's part of your growth and your evolution. And inhale deeply. And exhale. Okay. I just want to do an ego card before we go. And the tarot reading is from the beginning. So this is a good one to put in your practice, right? So I'm going to have this uploaded. And it'll be time-stamped so you can go straight to the tuning in and then to the meditation. So it says it takes 40 days to create a habit. So you can meditate 40 days, 90 days, 120 days. Like I said, this is my go-to, this meditation. Whenever I'm feeling confused, right? And confusion is not to be fused with your divine. That's what confusion is. There's no duality with the divine, right? Divinity means not to be divided. You and your intuition are one. This is what we want to get to. Not to have the mind interfering with your intuition. Okay. So let's see what the ego is doing. What is the ego telling people that are listening? I love this meditation. Okay. Because it works. I love the meditations that work, and that one works immediately for intuition. And sometimes you listen to your intuition and it makes no sense. It makes no logical sense, but you still have to trust. And I've done that in the past. Like, what? This makes no sense, God. You want me to do what? And then it turns out to be all for the best. And I look back in hindsight, I've never regretted not following my intuition. And I look back on it And it was, thank God I did that, right? Because your mind can't foresee. It's coming from the past. The past is disappearing. The past is already gone. We can't step in the same river twice, right? But your intuition knows. It can see beyond, right? It can see your destiny. So that's what I want to say. I've never, ever honestly regretted following my intuition. And sometimes your intuition leads you to get your heart shattered open. And even that's a good thing, you know, in the long run. Because you're letting go of all that childhood pain. So it's not ruling you anymore. It's not driving you because it's the past. All that childhood pain is the past. Okay, so what's the ego's telling? Okay. Okay. So I want to do the bottom of the deck too. Okay. Yeah. I just want to acknowledge here. Right here. What she said. Larissa. Thank you. See, I started crying and felt a huge emotional release during the prayer. That's the holy grief. You know, when I started doing group sadhana, you know, the 4 a.m. to 6:30 a.m., I did that in when I lived in Vancouver. I did that for a year, right? And I loved it so much because I was crying. I was like having so much emotional release from, you know what it's like if you're a Kundalini yogi. And then it stopped. After a year, it just stopped. It was just like, ho-hum, there was nothing going on. And it was like, oh, there's nothing. My intuition was like, there's nothing more for me here in this group sadhana anymore. But it's that holy grief, right? That's what this is, you guys. The holy grief is moving through here, right? It's moving through here. I just want to get me out of the way here. To spirit awareness. This is unity consciousness. This is the only way through. These are the tears, right? It's the side effect of what happens when we're one. This is what we really want, is to be one with the divine, right? This is what we want. We want to go back to this. And we all are, like, we can never be divided from the divine, but we're not aware of it because we're in this walnut. People are in the walnut, right? This or that. So that keeps us away from spirit awareness, right? This is this mental awareness system, right, that we've been in. That we're moving into the solar plexus, right? This new solar plexus awareness system. And this is the experience of unity. So speaking of which, we got the chase card. This is the codependent card that we're clearing. The 19th gate. We're clearing for this new age of Aquarius. And also, just want to get my images back up here. Right? With the cross of the sleeping phoenix, we're going into the age of self-empowerment. The cross of planning totally fostered codependency because of the bargain. I need you, right? I need you. And if we go to the 3740, right, the 3740 that's going through a huge mutation, you think of the family, the 4037, like just traditional, like I'm looking at it as archetypes, right? The breadwinner, let's say the husband, you know, think of the 50s family. The husband's out working, getting the bread, bringing it home. The wife's stay-at-home mom. She stays at home. She's the 37, right? The 37 is is the nurturer, right? And then the 40 is the breadwinner. So this is all changing. So there's a codependent thing happening. And what I don't think I want to go down that road. So this is all changing. So do you see there's a codependency right there? There's a codependency on the government, right? There's a codependency on your employer, right? That I give you my time and my energy and my commitment, and then you give me my paycheck every 2 weeks. You know, so it breeds this we're codependent, and it means relying on others. This was just part of how the cross of planning worked. Well, this is all stopping. So this is the codependent card. This is the chasing someone, a person. I need this person. I need this person. So these programs, because that's what I look at them, these ego traps, they're programs, and they don't just come from this lifetime. They're coming from your ancestors. They're coming from your maternal line and your paternal line. This is why some couples, some people in relationship, they find it really difficult. Like divorce is a no-no, and some it's so entrenched within their psyche. It may not even come from this lifetime. Maybe they're not even religious, because Catholics are like, no, there's no divorce. You can't divorce. But it comes with that ancestral baggage into this lifetime. And so what happens is, like with some couples, one of the couples will actually die to escape the relationship, right? Because we're creators. Look, we're not victims here, right? We don't get disease because it's just a random thing, right? We attract that in. This is how creative we are, right? We attract that in, but on a deep, deep level. So if you have that belief that's like really entrenched from your ancestors that like, no, you don't divorce. Well, what's the only way to escape the relationship, right? Is through death. You can see this with certain couples, right? So this is how far back these codependent programs go, right? So this could be a belief that is buried deep within you, that you need another person to survive. You need another person to survive, right? That could be really, really, and maybe your parents sent you that message too, So, and also chasing someone, when you're chasing someone, like codependency, just in a nutshell spiritually, is putting a person in between you and the divine. Okay? Right? Between you and the divine, it's like that person is my God. Not God, but that person is my God. You start to treat that person like your God, right? You do things for their approval. You're not self, because you become what you think they think you want, right? Yeah. You just morph yourself into inauthenticity, right? This is the chaser. So this is about avoiding yourself, right? So the ego here is telling you that you can't survive without another person. This is this fear of aloneness, right? This 40 that we're in right now. This is the fear of isolation and being alone, right? And we totally have that as a humanity. That's deep within our psyche, this fear of being alone. Because being alone in tribal consciousness that we're leaving behind, that was, these are ancient fears. That would be certain death. If you got kicked out of the tribe and you had to face all the elements on your own, you had to hunt and gather on your own, you had to do all these things on your own, you would die. Right? You couldn't survive alone, not during those times. So these are ancient fears that we have to move away from, because we're heading into this new cross of the sleeping phoenix, which is all about self-empowerment. So this is not the independent ego, like I don't need anybody, I'm doing it all myself. There's still a codependency there, because you're reacting. Do you see? You're reacting to other people because secretly you want somebody there with you, right? It's still codependency. Independent ego or codependent ego, they're the same ego. So we're moving into this new state of consciousness, right? Of self-empowerment. So this is what I would watch, like the dig out, just because this card got picked up. It's about avoiding yourself. So if you're overly focused, because chasing someone, it's not like literally chasing them down the street like with Pepe Le Pew or whatever right after the cat. You could be chasing someone with your thoughts, right? Obsessively thinking about somebody, things like that. Like because you're not in the present then, right? You're in the future, and it's like, I want a savior. I want that person to come and save me. Well, look at what you want. Look, go deeper, right? Go deeper. It's like, well, what do I want from that person? If I'm chasing through my mind, chasing that person, what do I want from them? You know? And then go deeper, 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 like list all the things that you want from that person. I want attention. I want somebody to love me. I want somebody to take care of me. I want a companion. And just take all those things and start bringing it back to yourself, right? I'm going to give all these things to myself, because this is what it's all about. Trying to chase somebody that doesn't want to be caught, you know? It's like, stop, just go back within and give yourself those things. It's about that's self-empowerment. These are the new Aquarian relationships. I'm whole onto myself. I don't need somebody. I'm not in this codependent cross-planning kind of relationship, right? This bargain. I do this for you, you do this for me. The whole paradigm is just shifting and changing, right? With the sleeping phoenix energy coming in. But it's not like we're not going to be in relationships, but they're going to be so much healthier, because it's not going to be coming from need and hooky, right? It's going to be like, I'm whole onto myself, and I'm choosing to be with this person who's also whole onto themselves, right? And we're sharing the same awareness, you know? Just a beautiful thing that's coming for relationships. That's what I see. And it will be never enough, right? With the codependency, it's never, never enough. Your partner could give you compliments up and down, and try to give you security. And it's like, no, I would never cheat on you. No, I love you, I love you, I love you. They could say it 1,000,000 times a day. But if you don't love yourself, it's not going to go in. It's not enough. So you can't be looking for it outside of yourself. This love, this unconditional love, right? You've got to start doing it, giving it to yourself. So this is the chase pattern. So dig this up with the ego, because this goes deep, right? These codes go deep, right back to our ancestors. Yeah. And they're old wounds, right? They're old wounds. And this is relationships bring this up. Conscious relationships will bring up these old wounds, right? And it has nothing to do with that other person. It has everything to do with you, right? Going back to your childhood. Especially if you have abandonment issues, right? This is where this chaser comes in. And then the other one, the bottom of the deck, was, you must agree with me. You must agree to everything I say. So this is all the ego, what the ego is looking for, because the ego is like made up of fear and insecurity. The ego is very insecure. It needs to feel validated, right? That it exists, basically. So it's seeking validation from your point of view, right? So you have your point of view and you're expressing your point of view, right, in your life. Here's my point of view, my point of experience that I'm sharing with other people. And you got to watch the ego looking for, well, you need to agree with me, my point of view. You need to agree with my point of view. It's just looking for validation there. And who can really validate your point of view? Not even, right? If you and I are in the same room, I can't be in the same point of view as you. I can't exist in the same time and space as you, right? Do you know what I mean? It's like we're even in that sense of the word, like physically we're distant, right? We're not going to have the same point of view, because each one of us is a unique point of view of the divine, right? So it's insanity. So this is like chasing someone. This is also an example of chasing with someone. It's like, I need them to agree with me. I need them to agree with me. And then you waste a bunch of energy, right? Looking for that. So you got to be solid in your own self. Again, this is the sleeping phoenix, right? I've got to be self-empowered, right? That this is my point of view. Nobody can argue my point of view away, because it's my point of view. I'm inside looking out at my movie, right? Not everybody's going to see the movie the same. So that's what I see there with the ego. Yeah. And don't be wasting your energy just because we're on the 40. Like 40 is about working and giving and giving and giving. This is it's about boundaries. The 40th is all about setting healthy boundaries. You have access to my energy. No, you don't have access to my energy. I get to choose who has access to my energy or not. This is the 40. So this is your learning how to take care of your own energy, right? And your energy level will show you. If you're with people and you leave and you're exhausted, that's a really bad sign that you're with the wrong crowd, or something needs to shift within you, right? That you need to get stronger with your boundaries, you know? But if you're feeling really uplifted, if you feel really uplifted and good, and if there's a balance of the give and take, remember with the reading, with this 6 of Pentacles, right? 6 of coins. It's the equal give and take. The equal give and take. That's what you want. And you'll be exhausted when it's out of balance, when you're out of balance. So it's about getting into balance with your energy, right? Yeah. And chasing is like a big waste of your energy. It's looking externally for something that you need to give to yourself, right? And then looking for, please validate my point of view. Nobody can validate your point of view. Okay. So that's what I got for this week. Okay. And then we are in September tomorrow. This year has been flying by. And look, we got 19. That's 19's the codependency, the shadow codependency. Okay. Yeah. Love to be alone. Love to be alone. Because if you don't enjoy your own company, who else is going to enjoy your company, right? You have to enjoy it. I love my own company. Yeah. Okay. So keep in mind my program of the Sleeping Phoenix. It's going to be really, really good. I can feel it. And if you can't join this time around, I'm sure it will still be up, but I would love for you to be part of it because it's a co-creative process, right? So as soon as you invest your energy into me, the projector, then I can serve and guide, right? So it depends on who's around, right? Who comes into the field and wants to be the pioneers. I'm all about being a pioneer. Yeah. And I'm sure that you are too. Okay. So have a good day or evening wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you probably on Saturday for the Human Design live stream. Okay? Okay, Sat Nam Aloha, everyone.